Hi, a friend yesterday mentioned to me that she had a lot of lentils and she wasn't sure what to do with them. So I was the same really. There's been a packet of lentils lurking in the back of our cupboard, and as soon as you mention lentils, everyone in our house goes, not lentils. So I thought, I'm doing a bit of cooking today and I'm going to try and invigorate these lentils and use everything we've got, and more than likely you will have. I mean, we could have fancier ingredients in here, but I'm trying to keep it to what most people have. So I've soaked these in boiling water for about 3/4 of an hour and drain them off, give them a wash, drain them off again, because normally there's some sort of weird substance that comes off them. I've got 1 chopped onion, 275 grams of chopped veg that you buy from most shops. It was frozen. I haven't cooked it. I've just soaked it in water. 3 potatoes roughly chopped. The reason I've done them quite a bit bigger, not tiny cubes, is this can sort of turn to a mush, so you want a bit of texture. I've got some frozen peppers. They're still frozen. 275 grams. There's red, green in there. Curry powder. Some frozen chopped coriander. I have got fresh, which I prefer, but not everyone's going to have that, and you could use dry coriander. I've gone for garlic granules, but you could use fresh. Chopped pepper, ground pepper, black pepper, and pink salt, but you can use normal salt. Now I'm going to fry up these ingredients, and what I'm actually doing, I'm going to be doing some pasties later. So this is going to be like a veggie version of a pasty filling, I hope. I've not done this before, but it just shows you, give things a go and see how they come out. If anyone's seen my healthy cake, that was a disaster, but we ate it in the end. Well, actually I think some's still in the freezer. So this could be a disaster, but it might be okay, I think. So I've just gone for standard curry powder because most people have that, but you could use loads of different spices that you want to. And I think I'm going to put some turmeric in, because I'm going to make sort of like weird pasty type things. So I'll probably put turmeric in the pastry as well later. So I'm going to go over to the frying pan, fry this up. Apologies to anyone out there that's brilliant chefs that are moaning and thinking, God, what is she doing? This is me cooking at home, basic cooking for everybody. So here we are at the hob. I'm going to use coconut oil, but you can just as well use vegetable oil. I suppose this is the equivalent to about 3 tablespoons of vegetable oil. I like coconut oil because it just gives it a different taste, but it doesn't matter. Oh, I need a wooden spoon. Right, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put 1, 2 teaspoons of standard curry powder into the hot oil. I'm going to put a teaspoon of garlic granules in. You can use normal garlic if you want to, fresh garlic. I'm going to put in a big tablespoon of frozen coriander. There we are. Just give that a good mix round. I need to add a little bit more oil. Yeah. Some salt. Now, because lentils, you know, when you make stuff with meat, it sort of has a bit more taste. So 5 turns of salt. I'm using pink salt. Some pepper. Now let's have a look at this. So you want to heat those ingredients. There we are. Okay. You can see. Now I'm going to put big 1 chopped onion in. My husband's just breaking the kitchen. You want these to go quite translucent. He's desperately trying to plug in a charger. I wondered what all the stamping around was. Obviously the camera wasn't charged.
No, Henry, thank you very much.
Okay, so here we go. And get flavour onto all those onions. Just keep giving it a mix. It smells lovely, actually. Now, this is, everyone I know makes curry, so you can just fly by the seat of your pants with this. The whole thing I was trying to do was use up some lentils. And, okay, so it's going clear now. 2 seconds. We're using a different camera today, and I don't think anyone's charged it, so it might crash in a minute. My husband's running around in his garden, clogs, making lots of noise, trying to find a charger. We don't plan this at all. There's no planning involved in this. We just decide we're going to do it and then do it, and that's what a lot of people do at home. Okay, so I've put my 270 grams of mixed chopped peppers. These were frozen. You can use fresh. Now with dahl, you tend to just use, lentils, onions, seasoning and a couple of tomatoes. But because this is going to be a bit of a pie filler, I need to give it a bit of texture. So what I'm doing is just making this up as I go along. So I'm now going to put in, I think potatoes next. There's 3 quite large chopped potatoes, and the reason I've chopped them quite large is so that they don't turn to mush like everything else. So they have like a little bit of a texture to the filling. I don't know what this is going to come out like. We'll see how it goes. So I've still got my hob quite hot, as you can see. Got it on the gas. Move that out of the way. I love the smell of this. Like I say, you can add all different spices. If you've got a whole store cupboard of different spices, crack on. But I'm just using curry powder because most people only have might only have curry powder left. I don't know. We've all been cooking a lot, and you know, you might be down to sort of like just a few ingredients. So in there we have chopped onion, pepper, potato, our spices. I've used coconut oil, but you could use vegetable oil. If you haven't got vegetable oil, I suppose butter would do, but remember it burns, it can burn. You could do a little bit of each. I suppose you could use olive oil, but it does have like a background taste. So there we go. Right, now I'm going to add, I think I'll have my lentils next. So that's 300 grams, we're going to have wind later, 300 grams of washed, drained. These are organic lentils that I bought online, quite a big pack, but you can use, you know, any lentils you've got. So there we go. And the whole thing of this is to make sure that all the lentils get a bit of flavouring on them. Now I don't think I've added enough curry powder myself. I can just judge that it's not going to have enough taste. Now you don't normally do this, but I'm just going to put another 2 teaspoons of curry powder. You can just tell by the smell really. And another one of garlic, because there's nothing worse than stuff that just has no taste. Let's get this in.
What are those little Indian parcels that are sort of...
like samosas.
Samosa, that was it.
Yeah. I don't know how to make those. I only make what I know. I mean, I do have a go. I mean, obviously I've never done this before, but I'm not a technical cook. I am just purely doing things that I've been taught along the years and that I know on these videos, because I don't want people wasting any ingredients or, you know, something going drastically wrong. Okay, so that's smelling quite good. Now lentils take a little while to cook. I'm now going to add, now everything's been covered, I'm going to add my veg. Now this isn't a standard ingredient to dahl, but most people have some peas and it gives it a bit of colour. Sneak some veg in for the kids if you've got kids. Now as you can see, this is making quite a big quantity, more than I expected, and it's got some texture. And you can see the ones that are on the bottom are nice sort of browning a little bit now. Okay, I'm going to turn the pan so you can see. It looks quite nice, doesn't it? So that's nowhere near cooked yet. That one needs to be on here for a while. I don't know how long yet, but once I come back, I'll let you know. I'm going to add a tiny bit of water and keep an eye on this. So I'm just going to add a little bit of water, which will boil down. Just get my spoon. But it just gives everything a chance to cook. So that is the start of my filling. I suppose you could have this as a main. We'll see how it comes out. I know I've got to add more salt. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 10 turns, so an extra 10 turns. Like I say, you don't want a tasteless lentil filling. We might have to add a bit more to this. What I'll do, when the lentils are cooked, I'll have a little taste and see. And that's the whole thing, keep tasting. Obviously not more lentils, but taste and adjust, because you know what you like. You know, you can bung anything in this and give it a go. I don't want this too watery, because if I'm putting it into a like a pasty or something like that, it would just run out. So I need this to be quite a firm mixture. But if you were having this as a dish on its own, then it can be as watery as you want. You can see there's just a little bit of fluid in there. So what I'm going to do is turn down the heat and leave that to simmer now, and we'll see how that goes. Right, I'm 15 minutes in, so you can see I've added in total, because I'm using a very old-fashioned water, about a pint and a little bit more of water, just to keep everything cooking. I've also added, while you were away, so this is 50, like I say, 50 minutes in, I've added some more curry powder, more garlic powder, a bit more salt, and some more coriander, because for me it just didn't have enough taste. We do like a lot of taste. Now I'll tell you what would be nice in this, a tiny little bit of chili powder or fresh chili, if you like things a bit hot. But I'm not going to do that, because the mixture of chili and lentils, I don't know. So I'm just going to keep this really basic, because it's got a lot of taste without any. It's got a little bit of heat, but not loads and loads of heat. As you can see, the potatoes are still holding the shape and quite firm. So I'm going to, do not take your eyes off this. Every now and again, just come back, obviously stay in the kitchen, come back, give it a stir, check the water level. As you can see, it's not flowing with water, but you need water in there to start breaking everything down. You can always take a bit of water out, but then you're taking flavour out, so just keep adding water, bits of water, so it doesn't go too dry. So that's what it should look like-ish in 15 minutes. You can see the lentils just starting to break. Right, so about half an hour in now, and I think this is ready for a filler for pasties or well, pie. I think it would be better like little pasties. So I'm going to show you the texture. I've actually added a bit more coconut oil into this, which has given it a really nice taste actually. So if you have got it, it's good to use it. If not, add a little bit of vegetable oil. I've seasoned it a bit more. Obviously you're trying to create a flavour. So if you like strong flavour, then you want to add as much. This is what it's going to taste like in your pasties, so you need it to be strong enough. So I'm just going to, as you can see, there's no water left in the pan now. The potatoes, actually you have to excuse my hob, I'm such a messy cook. I've got lentils everywhere. So I'm just going to show you the consistency. You can see there's no water running out, and that's what I'm going to need for a pasty. So you can see there's none running out. So that probably there is about the size of a pasty filling, I would say. So the potatoes are still quite firm. I just hope they soften up in the bake. What I'm going to do, because there's a lot here, I'm going to take half out for my fillers, and then I'm going to let half cook on, so it's almost like a dahl for another day. So half of that will probably do an accompanying dish to a curry for the three of us. You know, you only want a few tablespoons with a meal, so I think that would be a good way of doing 2 meals. So I'll let you know how much half takes for pasty fillings. You know, how many pasties it makes. So if you imagine, I've got 1 there, 2, 3, 4, might make 4, maybe 5, and then the rest of it will make almost like a dahl dish for a curry. So I'm going to make sure this all cools down before I put it into my pastry, otherwise my pastry, hot water pastry, is just going to turn to mush. So I'm going to place this half into a bowl, and half I'm going to add a little bit more water to and let it cook on. So I'll show you the 2 different textures after. So we've got, yeah, so that there, for not a lot of money, has made, you know, considering it's just chopped veg, potatoes, lentils, quite a bit of flavouring, some oil, has made, oh, and peppers, don't forget. It's probably going to do 2 dinners, which isn't bad financially considering the amount. Yes, it's effort, it's time, but at the moment in lockdown we've all got a bit of time. Yes, I'm in a mess, but it's easily cleaned up. I'm going to get more in a mess in a minute. And when I make these, so this is a really nice meal. You could just have that, well, a little bit more than that maybe, as a meal, and there's plenty of nutrients in there. Great stuff from the lentils. They're organic lentils. Like I say, you can use standards. So there we go. So I'll show you this in a separate video on when I'm doing pasties later. Okay, so I've recooked. I've divided the ingredients into half. I've weighed it, and it's about 1,600 grams, I think it come to. So I've halved it. This is what's going to be the pasty filling, and this is what's left of the dahl, and I've kept that cooking on for 10 minutes, added a bit of water. Now the potatoes I've used, I've actually held their shape really well, so I've just gone through and taken some of the, you can still hear these are still quite hard, so this probably could do with 5 more minutes, but you can tell where I've added more water, it's a much more watery consistency to the other one. So if you see, that's probably, I mean, that would be great with a rice dish as 1 portion. So 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 at a push of quite big side portions, 3 mains there. That's half the mixture, and the other half is going into pasties. So this is, as you can see, I've not cleaned down, so you can see we all get in a massive mess. The filling, we've all had a taste of it, we love it. I have to say, it's really tasty. I don't know what it's going to all do to our stomachs later, because obviously lentil power, but we're loving it and we like it, so I'm going to freeze this so it's not dahl overload, sort this out later. Really appreciate you watching, because obviously I'm not a chef, I'm just doing things from my kitchen with what we have. Substitute what you can, keep tasting, keep an eye on it, and stay safe. Thanks for watching.